Morning, young people of Sheffield Futures. It's Annie's here again, and I'm here to do a vlog on something called imposter syndrome. You might have heard about it, you might not have. Even if you've not heard about it, you might be familiar with it or recognise it when I explain a little bit about what it is. So basically, imposter syndrome, it is something that's recognised by psychologists, although it's not officially diagnosed. So it's recognised because it's super common, and people kind of disagree about how common it is. Some say it's up to 70% of a population. Some people disagree with that figure. Some people say it occurs more in women than men. Some people say it's equal. So basically, what is it? Imposter syndrome is a way of thinking where you feel that you are a fraud, basically. So that you're fake, and that you are not good enough to be in a certain job or on a certain course, or even to have achieved success in exams or your past successes. Common thinking behind it is, oh, I just got lucky that day, or they felt sorry for me, or the competition was poor, so they just chose me because I was the best of a bad bunch. Those kind of minimising thoughts that take away your achievements kind of contribute to this idea that you're just not good enough, and someone's going to find out you're not good enough, and then what you're going to do. And it can be really disabling and limiting in terms of how you view yourself. And it can be linked to anxiety, and often linked to anxiety about failure. But the strange thing is people that often talk about it are often high achievers. So there's a possible link there. So people who may be used to succeeding all the time fear failure, and they think, well, what do I do if I fail? Or they're target driven, or they're always focused on goals and ambitions. So it has very little to do with reality of the situation. So someone can have imposter syndrome and be super able, super talented, super skilled, got all the right credentials, and still feel that they're just not good enough. But it can have been caused for all kinds of reasons. So individuals will have their own kind of ideas about where it's come from and why it's there. But the good news is it can be managed, and it can be challenged, and so you feel that you're in control of it. So what can we do? Some ways that we can challenge it initially is to talk about it. So breaking this idea of silence about, you've got to hide, elements of yourself in case you get found out. So expressing your feelings and your thoughts with other people. You might be surprised because they might have the same thoughts and feelings as well. They might go, oh yeah, I've had that too. And you think, oh, well, I'm not alone. I'm not the only one that has that. So breaking that kind of sense of shame almost, I suppose, is one way forward. Another way forward is to kind of develop a different script about the way you talk to yourself, because often people who have this, like I said, say these kind of very negative statements, say I got on this course because, there wasn't that many people that were, particularly talented on my day or on my interview. So reframing that and saying things like, I got on the course because I deserved it, or I got the job because I've got the appropriate skills, or I got the job because I worked hard and I've got the right attitude, and they chose me because they thought I fitted in and I deserve to be there. So reframing and developing a new positive script is one way you can manage this. Another way is to acknowledge your achievements, because sometimes people find it hard to accept them, and also accepting compliments. If someone does pay you a compliment, go, you did really well on that, go, yeah, all right, thank you, and take it in and absorb it and go, yeah, okay, they must mean it. Don't question that compliment or achievement. Accept it, and accept it as something you deserve. I think deserving things is quite key, believing that you deserve it because you've earned it, I suppose. And chances are, if you have passed a course or even a driving exam, it's because you've earned it. People don't get things by choice or by accident. They just don't. Another thing is to develop a new idea or approach or thoughts about failure. Okay, so if you don't get the job, then what? Well, learn from it. Why didn't you get the job? Why didn't you get on the course? Phone them back so you can have some feedback, please. And don't see it as, an ultimate final thing. Where can you go from there? Okay, what can you learn from it? How are you going to move forward from that? You know, try and limit that making, if you did make any mistakes, accept them and go, okay, I could have, you know, developed that answer more, or could have maybe tried a little bit harder on that response. Accept that you're not perfect. You know, no one is perfect. And perfectionism is another trait of people that have imposter syndrome. They're often, like I said, high achievers, people who just have to have this idea of perfection in everything. Well, it's kind of impossible for anybody to be perfect. And I think sometimes accepting that is a way forward, especially with imposter syndrome. And rewarding your success, celebrating your successes, and realizing that you are not alone in this and it can be managed. And also, you know, managing anxiety. Like I said, it can be linked to anxious thinking. So if that is something that you think is a trigger for you, how are you going to, what can you do to manage that anxiety in addition to challenging those thoughts about not being good enough? So that's my little vlog on imposter syndrome. I hope it's been useful. I hope it's, you know, giving you a few little tips and strategies to use if that is you. Yeah, moving forward, you deserve that success. So yeah, well done. Keep positive and stay safe. Thanks a lot. Bye.